Hello all, it's the Bookworm, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, please click the subscribe button to keep updated with our content and more audiobooks to follow. Today, we will be listening to the Tales of Deltora. I do hope you enjoy. Once, when the world was young, the sea was alive with monsters, and all the lands were islands. The islands were many, but most were far apart. To birds flying high, they looked like jeweled eggs, cupped in nests of foam and scattered a broad blue plain. Some of the islands were small, and some were large, but all were prisoners of the sea, for the sea was vast and deadly, an endless wasteland of cruel waters, seething with teeth, spines, cold black eyes, and tentacles that coiled like hungry tongues. One of the largest and strangest of these islands was called by its people the Land of Dragons, for dragons ruled its skies. The people were divided into 7 tribes, and each tribe kept to its own territory. Even between neighboring tribes, there was little trade, marriage, or friendship. Instead, there was suspicion and all too often war, for food and fresh water were not divided equally among the territories, and life was hard for many. But if people of the Land of Dragons knew little about their neighbors, they knew nothing at all about the world beyond their shores. For all they knew, indeed, they were alone beneath the vast dome of the sky. To their north was another island, richly green and ringed with pure white sand. At dawn and noon, and at sunset, a faint fluttering sound drifted from this island, like a beckoning call, but no dragon soared its skies, and no living thing was ever seen moving its white shore. Imprisoned by the perilous sea that surrounded them, the people of the Land of Dragons could only gaze at the misty green island from afar. They wondered about it, and many tales and legends grew around it. Old folk said that it was their own island's twin, but a twin that was perfectly good, lacking the evils and dangers of the Land of Dragons. It was said that the twin was a magic place. It was said that hidden deep within the green were crystal palaces, lush gardens, and pools of sweet water that mirrored the sky. It was said that within this paradise lived wondrous beings who were wise and good. There were those who laughed and did not believe the tales. There were others who longed to see the wonders of the twin for themselves, without hoping they ever would. But now and then a brave soul or fool would make a boat and set out to discover the truth. Not one of these adventures was ever seen again. The twin was farther away than it seemed. No matter how early a craft set out, darkness always overtook it while it was still on the open sea, so it was lost to sight. When watchers in the Land of Dragons looked again at dawn, the sea was always empty. Some people clung to the hope that the lost ones had reached the magic island in the night, and now were safe, bliss among the crystal palaces and the flowers. But most suspected the sea had claimed them, and in their dreams they saw bones lying gnawed and white in deep, cloudy waters amidst splinters of wood, a rusting anchor and a rotting rags of sails, for the beasts of the sea were fearful. They writhed and fought without ceasing. They were savage, always hungry. Only dragons did not fear them. Only the dragons dared to fish far from the shore, changing the churning water to steam with their fiery breath. Some of the sea monsters hunted the fish that swarmed beneath the surface of the waves, birds that swooped too near, and humans who strayed too far from the land. Many of these beasts were known by the people of the Land of the Dragons as sea serpents, sea wolf, mirodan, Strangler, Vulturefish, Birdbane, and Deadeye were just a few of the names that struck dead in the very heart. Some monsters invaded the land to seek prey, swimming up rivers, lurking in caverns, or crawling onto rocks and sandy shores. These beasts, too, were named by the people who feared them. Some of the names were Knob and Krell, Stinger, Bubbler, Blood Creeper, and Death Spinner, or Glus. But the largest and most ghastly of these monsters of the sea skulked in the deeps, carving grottos and palaces for themselves from the rock of the seabed and feasting in the darkness. No human ever saw them and lived, so they remained nameless. And so it was when the world was young, the monsters of the sea ruled, and though their reign would never end, the dragons were the glistening masters of the sky. The people lived in fear and clung to the land, and the land waited, biding its time.